Take that test kit and lock it away somewhere and forget that you have it.
Well, hello. Come right on in. You're at Father Fish.
You had been taught to be afraid of your aquarium. You had been taught to fear chlorine, to fear chloramine, to fear ammonia, to fear nitrite, to fear nitrates, to fear everything that happens in your aquarium. You've been taught to be afraid to put dirt in, afraid when you see little animals swimming around. You've been taught to be afraid of everything that is needed for your aquarium to be healthy. So Father Fish is here to teach you to no longer be afraid of your aquarium. Most are afraid because they've bought a little test kit and they brought it home because they want to be absolutely perfect about keeping these little fish. And so they read the instructions carefully and they carefully follow them and do exactly what's described. And they look and are horrified. They call me up. I don't know what to do. I'm so afraid. My nitrates are 22. What can I do? Well, my dear friends, if nitrates have you freaked out, then my suggestion to you is to take a deep breath. Take that test kit and lock it away somewhere and forget that you have it. You are being pursued by numbers on a piece of paper. That's all it is. Numbers on a piece of paper. What is ammonia? Ammonia is part of the food chain. Ammonia occurs in your tank because you put food in your tank and the fish eat the food and they release ammonia. Now, what then happens to that ammonia? Well, if you have plants in your tank, the plants absorb the ammonia. It's food for plants. Did you know that? Nitrate. What is nitrate? Well, the ammonia that the plants don't eat is attacked by bacteria. The bacteria eat the ammonia and they poop out nitrite. Nitrate is every bit as toxic as ammonia. However, it is an interim chemical. It's an interim product. It occurs in between ammonia and nitrate. And it's usually there for a very short period of time, a matter of minutes. It rarely sits in the tank for long periods of time because there's another bacteria that eats the nitrite and poops it out as nitrate. So if you have nitrates, what do? Well, the best thing to do is to take a deep breath, sit down, wait 5 minutes, and when you go back to test it again, it probably will be gone. If it's not, I'm going to circle back to that and explain what to do. For now, let's move on to nitrates. Well, nitrates are the third leg of a three-legged stool, starting with ammonia, nitrites, nitrates. But that's not the end of the story, just like ammonia is not the beginning of the story. The story starts with food. And nitrate doesn't end. It's part of the food chain. Plants eat food. In fact, plants require nitrate in order to survive. Without nitrates, the plants die. They absolutely require it. So, if you have plants in your tank, you're not going to have nitrates. Now, here's the thing about all that. It operates in a balance. And the balance is between the biology in your aquarium and the amount of nutrients you put into the aquarium. If you put a small amount in the aquarium, then the biology of the aquarium will be able to absorb it and process it and move it right through the food chain. If you put too much food in, it will struggle to do that. How does it struggle? Well, it builds up a stronger system. It builds up more bacteria, more nitrifying bacteria. It builds up more plants. Ultimately, it builds up more microfauna, which includes the bacteria, but it takes time for that to build up. So I want to do two things now. I want to go all the way back and finish the conversation about chlorine and chloramine. Well, chloramine is not nice stuff, I'm here to tell you. Chloramine is ammonia and chlorine mixed up in a chemical soup and put in your water to kill everything. Oh, they may claim it's in very limited quantities, but I've been to some of those water supply plants where they dump whole truckloads of chemicals into the water. It's called purging. They purge the line, kill everything. How do I get rid of chloramine? It is so simple. You have probably in your bathroom, if not on your kitchen table, the perfect solution for chloramine and chlorine. What is it? It is a vitamin C tablet. One vitamin C tablet, typically it's 1,000 units. One vitamin C tablet will treat 100 gallons, probably even more. 100 gallons of chlorinated or chloramine-aided water. One tablet. How quickly does it do this? Well, if you dissolve it first, put it in a little warm water, dissolve it, pour it in, as quickly as it circulates in the water, the chloramine and the chlorine are gone. Broken down. The chloramine is broken into chlorine, which is a gas. It goes into the air. So you want to have bubbling and movement in the water to get the chloramine out. The ammonia, plants. Plants. Remember ammonia? Plants absorb ammonia. It is a nutrient. That takes care of chlorine and chloramine. How do you establish your aquarium so that the food that you put in will become part of the chain, the food chain, and will not cause stress in the aquarium? If you will start your aquarium, as we suggest, with 1 inch of dirt, not any old dirt, although that's okay. We have a special formula that makes it last forever. And then put 2 inches of sand on top of that. And then we teach you to put plants in your aquarium. Not one plant, not 2 plants, not 3 or 5 or 10 or 20 or 30, but many, many plants. Lots of plants. Fill the tank at least half full with plants. Nothing really is more important. And if you have that dirt down there and you put those plants just 1 inch into the sand and let the roots find the dirt, find the nutrients, that's all on day 1. Day 1, you have dirt, sand, water, plants. Turn on the filter. I use sponge filters. I really like them. Get it bubbling. Put a heater in and set it to 82. Set it to 80. People are going to say, no, not 82. No, that's too hot. 82. Set it at 82. Ignore the fear mongers. Do not be afraid. No fear. Then day 2, put a few fish in. Just 3 or 4 little ones. Just a few. And they're going to begin to feed the plants. By day 4 or 5, put a tiny amount of food in. Now, I'm going to suggest to you that you build a food web by going out to a local pond or a ditch and collect some old moldy leaves that are in the water and put them in a jar and bring them home. Set that on the window ledge and watch it. It is full of life. You're going to put a small amount of that into your tank once or twice a week. A small amount, not a whole lot. Don't dump the whole thing in. A small amount. You're putting food in. You're putting nutrients in. You want to do it a little bit at a time, and it will build up, and the tank will become stronger and healthier. And then your fish will begin finding food among those leaves and other little bugs that you put in there because that is their natural food. Now you're developing a food web. Now you have everything in there that's needed to keep everything alive and healthy. You only need to feed more of those leaves when they start deteriorating, breaking down and disappearing. That's the food that you're feeding. You're not feeding it to the fish or the plants. You're feeding it to all of the little microorganisms that are breaking it down. When they break it down, they grow and they break it down. So watch what happens. They grow, they get bigger and more of them, and the fish eat them. They eat all of those dead leaves, they break them down, and the bacteria breaks it down more, and the plants are able to absorb it. Look at that. Look at that. You've created a cycle of food in your tank that goes on, and you only need to put a few leaves in. Now, this doesn't work real well with big fish, anything over 2 to 3 inches long. But it does work very well with little fish, 1 to 2 inches. So you can do that and never put any canned food of any kind in there. I like to put live food in because it builds up that natural food web. Now, if you do all this, here's what will happen. You won't be panicking anymore. You'll get bored. You won't know what to do. You'll call up Father Fish and say, Father Fish, I used to have a lot of fun with my fish tank, and now there's nothing to do. And I will say to you, Grasshopper, you have grown. Now you may become a guru of your aquarium. You may study it. You may look deeply into it. You may learn all of its secrets, because there is nothing more to fear. Now that real joy, the true joy of your aquarium is open to you. No more fear. Have no more fear. Your aquarium is your peace. It is your inspiration. It is a window into the wonders of the natural world. Bye for now. Love you all.